and welcome to Amethyst Star Crafting. My name is Jane Allmark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And today we are on week 8 of our 12 weeks of Christmas ideas. And today we are going to be doing, or this week is all about packaging. Now, I know what it's like when you've got Christmas presents and things ready and you just want to make something to put them into. So I have made, and I shall show you I have made these. These are little squashed mice, they're called. They're little bookmarks that are made from crochet. I've done a couple of them. And I'm making them for various people, and they've got sweet little faces done out of crochet, and you have them inside your book, and they're a little bookmark. So I've done a little pink one and I've done a little blue one at the moment, and I'm going to be making others, but I want to put them in a little box, and I don't want the box to be sort of this long because, you know, it'll wrap around a little bit, but I want the box big enough to fit them in so that they will make a nice little a little gift for some friends. So what I've decided is I'm going to make a little fold over box. So we need a piece which measures 10 inches by 7 inches. Now this particular style you can make in any size that you want. So you are going to score it, and I've just literally, what have I done with my scorer? Here it is. Right. I've already done it, but I'm going to show you it anyway because it's really easy. So you're going to score it on the long side at 1 inch, and then turn it round the other side and score it at 1 inch. So it's literally 1 inch on either side. Then on the short side, you're going to score it at 1 inch. You're going to score it at 3 inches. You're going to score it at 4 inches. And you're going to score it at 6 inches. So basically what you've got is a 1 inch, 2 inch, 1 inch, 2 inch, 1 inch side. So you've got 2 inches and 3 1 inches. That's probably confusing you. You just need to score it at 1, 3, 4 and 6, and on the long side at 1 inch, and I turn it round so it's at 1 inch. Okay, and that's all the scoring that we need to do. So I can take the scoreboard out of the way, put that down carefully, and then we just need to do some burnishing. So we need to just burnish. I've got my bone folder, so just burnish it down, and I'm using heavy cardstock. So Stampin' Up will be heavy Whisper White. If you're getting it elsewhere, you know, 250 GSM, are really sort of strong, because the stronger it is, the sturdier the box is going to be. You can do these sorts of things out of, you know, thinner, but you tend to get a bit of a sag, and because this is quite long, we don't want the sagging. So if we look, let me grab some scissors, my paper snips. If we look at the, we're on the short side, we have got 2 rectangles and 3 little squares. The squares we need to just cut inside the rectangle, and the squares we're going to just wedge in, because these are going to be the little tabs that'll put the box together. Okay, and this is a one and done. It's a one box that is, you've got your lid and your base, because I always find that when I'm trying to do boxes with lids on, you have to leave sort of, you know, a smidgen of an inch for the lid, and it's always a little bit more complicated. So I try and do things that are really easy, and it means that you can make lots of them. You can also make these shorter. You can also make them, you know, smaller if you want to. So we're going to turn around the other side and do exactly the same thing on the other side. So in on this one and a little wedge and a little wedge on there. And by wedging it, it just means that it closes neater. So we're taking out basically the bulky score line and then just making sure that we've got just a little wedge in on the side so it closes just neatly. And it doesn't have to be precise. You can see some of my wedges are bigger than others, and I just need to pull these ones out. There we go. Okay, so we can get rid of these little tiny bits now because we don't want those anymore. And then we need to look at decorating the box as well because it's fairly plain. So we need, and I've done all of these pieces in preparation anyway, we need, and it's really easy because your measurements are going to be easy. So this is 8 inches long. So you want this at, I've done it 1/8 of an inch. So you want it 7 7/8 long, and it's 2 inches, so you want it 1 7/8 on that way, and then we want 2 of those. So these 2 pieces are 7 7/8 by 1 7/8, so literally 1/8 of an inch smaller. And then we've got these little pieces that can come down on the side. Like this. Oh, did I only do 2? Oh no, there's my third. Have I done my third? Oh, I might have to cut another one. I think I maybe only did 2 of those. And then we've got this to come in on the edge like that. Okay, now I tend to glue mine once I've put it together because then I can see exactly where I want it. So you can glue it beforehand or afterwards. I'm going to do it afterwards, and I'll show you why. So what we need to do is we need to take 2 of these bottom pieces, and this is going to form the bottom of the box. Okay, so we can use wet glue, or we can use some tear and tapes type stuff. And for speed, I'm going to use, if I can find it, here we go. I'm going to use some of my fast fuse that I've still got from a few years ago. So there, it's quite good. I don't know how much I've even got left of this, but I think I've got a few spares on here. Just put it up. So on this one, we need to, doesn't really matter which is the top or the bottom. So on the outside, we're just going to just put some glue. I used to love this with the little check mark. And down on here. Oops. Sometimes I don't get my check marks very well. Or you just roll it down. I think I need to clean this off on there, but as I say, it's just trying to do it a little bit quicker for you rather than holding the wet glue and stuff in. Come on. I might be actually, I don't think I'm at the end. I just need to clean this out, don't I? There's me trying to make it quicker for you, and I'm faffing about. There we go. Okay, right. So have I done, I've probably done all of them, haven't I? And I didn't need to do all of them, but never mind, that'll work. So we are going to take 2 of the bottom ones, and we're going to take this and just make sure that it's done up on the seam there. Have I got glue on that one? I don't even think I got glue on that. Oh, maybe I have only done the bottom ones. Okay, right. So we'll do it on this one. So we'll just make sure that that edge is nice and straight. And I tend to follow along and do the other end. So I know that both my ends are nice and straight, particularly if I'm doing it with Stamp and Seal, Fast Fuse, any glue that you know that you haven't got any wiggle room with. So just going to take that bit on there, and then I can take the other one in on here like this. So it means I can make sure that my edges are nice and straight, and I can glue those in first. Okay, so we've got the bottom of our box. Now we need to make sure that the lid comes in over the top. Now I always tend to put my lid in first and then put the sides down, because it allows that little bit of wiggle room to make sure that the box closes nicely. So all we need to do on this one is, let's turn it up like that, is to put some glue on the either end of here. So I'm going to use the Fast Fuse again. But as I say, you can use wet glue, which is what I would normally use, but I'm trying to do this a bit quicker for you. So like that, and then on the other piece like this. Like that. Okay, so I'm going to put this over the top like that, fold my end in, and then take this piece in over the top like that. So I've still got a nice neat corner, but it means that I know that the box is going to open quite easily. So put that in on here like that. Okay, so you now know that your box is going to open nice and neatly and close in again. Okay, so you can put a little thumb piece in on here. The easiest way of doing that is to get a little punch. Now let me see if I've got a little doesn't really matter what size, so I'm just taking I've got a little 1-inch punch that I've had for a long time, and I think it'll probably just about go in. You can do it beforehand, but I tend to do it after like this. And in fact, no, I'm going to do it once I put my paper on, because then I'm going through both pieces at the same. Okay, so now I'm going to use my wet glue, and I want to put some of this paper. Again, as I said to you, I'm using up all my old scraps of paper from years gone by. I thought I got to a stage where I had so many old papers that I really loved that I thought, you know what, I'm not going to spend any more time buying another pack of paper until I've used up some of my old, because as I say, I never ever use all my papers. I just don't have enough time to use up all of them. I always have, you know, a couple of pieces, or I end up buying 2 packs because I really love it, and then I don't use it all. So you don't have to do the bottom. I'm just doing the bottom only because I've got enough paper to do it. Okay, so that's the top and the bottom. Then I can do the sides, and this is why I said it's good to do it when you've finished it, because then you know exactly where your paper's going. It's just a little tip that I've always done. I used to do it all beforehand and then go, oh, I didn't need to have a piece on there. Oh, didn't need to have a piece on there. Whereas, as I say, by doing it afterwards, and it really doesn't matter because it's quite a good sturdy box anyway. so you can actually see what you're doing to put it together. So as I say, it's just the way I do it. If you want to do it flat beforehand, you can do. And as I say, if you want to make it a slightly smaller box, all you need to do is to cut your measurements down here, and you can make smaller size boxes. I wanted it this size because this is the size that I am using to put the little gift in that I want to. Okay, so that's on there, and then we just need 2 little pieces to go in on the ends, and this is 2 inches by 1 inch, so this is going to be 1 7/8 by 7/8, and then that's just going to fit in there. And obviously if you're doing directional paper, make sure that you're cutting it directional. I tend to not do directional on boxes because then it doesn't really matter which way up you put it. It just makes it look quite pretty. And I quite like this paper because it's very Christmassy, but also it's a nice neutral palette that you can team it up with lots of things. So, and the recipient can use the box for other things as well if they wanted to, because it's quite a nice sturdy one. Okay, so now we're going to have where it opens on here. Get that little bit of glue out. We're going to take our 1 inch punch, and we're just going to, I always eyeball things, so we're going to eyeball it and put it down in on the center like that. Okay, and then I do need to do a piece down on there, don't I? So is that that's my length, so I just need to do that. That's 1 inch, so I need to just cut that at 7/8 of an inch. So let's just whiz that down at 7/8 of an inch. That's my inch, that's 7/8. So you do need 3 pieces. I thought you did. There we go. So I can just pop this in the inside, and then that just makes it, just finishes it off nicely. Then I can put my little, I've got to decide whether I'm going to put a pink one in here or a blue one. I'm just making, I've got quite a few friends who are avid readers, and when they saw me making them, they were like, oh, can you make me one for Christmas? And I was like, yes. So although I do lots of paper craft, I do lots of other craft as well. So I'm always trying to do different things which are quite fun. So okay, so that's our box, and as I say, you can put whatever you want inside your box, but for me, I'm going to put a little mouse. So he's going to go in there. His little paws, tuck his paws in, and then I'm going to tuck his tail round. Oops. And then you can close quite nicely. So as I say, that's all nicely packaged up. And then you can, if you want to, it does stay closed pretty well, but if you wanted to finish it off with something, you can just get some coordinating ribbon. This is gold. You can put it down this way, or you can just put it across that way, depending how you are wanting to display it. I think I probably will do it down the end, depending how much ribbon you've got. If you only got a little bit of ribbon, then just put a little piece like this and just tie it up in the center, which looks quite pretty. If you've got a lot of ribbon, then you can tie it down this way, and you know, just tie it up like this and have the bow coming out at the side on there. I think I will probably do it long ways, but I want to put a little tag inside on the little present. But if you can see, just putting this up like this, And I don't know whether I put a complete bow or not. I probably would put a bow because I think bows look nicer. So just make sure it's long enough to do a decent sized bow, which it probably is. And as I say, this was shimmer ribbon. Again, don't ask me how old it is. It's just some that I've had for quite a long time. And as I said, I'm trying to use up what I've got this year rather than using... oh, no, don't go barking. My neighbour's just come home. I always tell you when my neighbour comes home, because then my dog barks, because the neighbour's dogs, as you can probably hear now, are going to go whizzing up the road. Because I'm very, very lucky. I live literally walking distance, as in about 80 yards from a huge 300-acre deer park. So most houses along here have dogs because it's that nice thing to do. I'm up every morning in the park walking the dog. There we go. That's about right. I'm not the greatest at doing bows, particularly on camera, but have it up on there. You can then put a little to and from or whatever on there, but I think it makes a sweet little box, and as I say, was perfect for what I wanted. So I hope you've enjoyed that. As always, please stay safe and well, please be kind, and look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye bye.